I didn't know whether or not I was going to put this into the live stream that I just recently did, or if I was going to turn it into a whole separate video. But you know what? I said I'm going to turn this into a whole separate video because if I stay on this too long, the whole live stream is going to be about this because of what I have to say about it. So in my recent live stream, the one that I did on November 19th, 2021, one of the first topic I talked about was the shooting of the rapper Young Dolph and how he went and, he got shot in front of this cookie spot that he was known to go to. And that's pretty much a staple in this area. And it's a black owned business and the name of the place is called Makeda's Homemade Butter Cookies. And as you can see in this picture, it's boarded up because, of what happened there. And it's crazy and it's sad and it's unfortunate what has occurred. But what I wanted to talk about was this person on Twitter, one of these blue check individuals, the ones you can't trust at least, whose name is Tami Sawyer. And I'm looking at her bio and it says, I'm a Southern elected black woman who is passionate about equality for my people. That sounds like a lie based on what she put. I write, I speak, I vote, I'm vaxxed and boosted, and I hope you are too. That's her bio. But what got me and many others that made us go in on her was the post that she made in the caption of this screenshot of the cookie spot. It said Makeda's Cookies is a black and woman-owned business. They are boarded up and closed due to the shooting of Young Dolph at their store. You can support the family through this with donations via Cash App to the matriarch, Miss Pamela Hill, at $Cookie Queen 99. It is so much wrong with the caption she put. She said it's black and woman owned, as if the woman who runs this business with her husband, by the way, from what I heard, it was her husband that put up the money to get this spot years ago when they were starting the business. She says black and woman owned business. She made it seem like this woman is doing this by herself and has been doing this by herself, completely erasing her husband's existence. Now, this Tami chick and all the people that are supporting her under this post, because there's a lot of those intersectional it's a lot of them, a horde of them under this post, literally backing up what she's saying. They know that this is owned by a husband and wife, but she chose to eliminate and erase the existence of this woman's husband, which is disrespectful to her. She says you can support the family. Now notice she said family, so she went from black and woman owned to family, as in now she's not by herself, unless when she's talking about family, she's only talking about it from a woman's perspective or a feminist perspective. With donations via Cash App to the matriarch. So now when she says matriarch, you're thinking maternal, mother, the female side of the family. This disrespectful slur, as I called her, because I called her that, and somebody had the nerve to come on my post and say, I know you're upset and everything like that, but did you have to call her that? I said, yes, I have to call her that, and I could have called her a whole lot more under the post, but I ran out of character space. And then they're going to come at me and say, and they use the intersectional, oh, you don't like black women talk. I blocked them after that. And they had the rainbow flag in their bio. So I already knew what type of time they were on and saw their bio. Listen, I'm telling you, intersectionality has no place in the black community. None. Because then you get posts like this. And so much worse than this. And this is the least people could do. But it actually is one of the worst. Because this woman knows. She knows that this business is ran by a husband and wife and has been for years. Let's scroll down a little bit. She says, consider donating money instead of ordering cookies so the family and staff aren't overwhelmed with orders while the store is closed. Let's see what else she's talking about. Shout out to Pharaoh Speaks. That's his account. He said her and her husband, and he put the Homer Simpson gif of him fading into the bushes. Let's see here. These are people they just donating money and everything like that and whatnot and whatnot. But what I really want y'all to see is the what people said in response to her that particular post, because they went in on her. But I want you to see some of the lost souls that was backing it up too. So this one says, her and her husband, I see you part of the problem as well. Let's see. This person right here says, why are we donating the money to a family that's already rich? You had some of them posts as well, but let me pause it right quick and show you what the meat of this part of the post. So here's one right here. This is a black owned business, not a black woman's. Her husband owns the business with her. Please make that correction. And she never corrected it. She left it up there. She said, so you're totally going to ignore her husband, Maurice? And I even know her husband's name. It says the black husband and wife owns. Why ignore the husband? Let's see what they're talking about. Thank you. It's part of her agenda to spread misinformation and divide the black family. They said because she is your typical black feminist misandrist. And it says, here we go again with the black gender divide. A husband and wife are one. Stop elevating one over the other. I might have donated, but for this anti-black male post, I'm not a feminist. I'm a black familyist. They said she should have said a black owned business, right? That would have made the husband and wife is one. They said exactly. All she needed to say was black owned business or black family owned. There would have been more support and less backlash. And that she's a liberal. That's what they do. They said because, here it is. Because it's her business. If he was on his game properly, he would be the primary owner, but she probably had to pull him up because you know how y'all are. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. It's way more, trust me, than this. Honestly, I didn't even see this one last night when I was going through some of the tweets. On this one, the F is you talking about? They said, let me see. They said LMAO facts, LMAO just talking, and she is just talking a whole bunch of nonsense. Let's see what they're talking about on the show more replies. They said they own it together, but I'll just block your miserable ass. And this one says you sound like a racist white woman. And they said emergency clown nose. They said you're effing weird and disgusting. Let's see what else they're talking about here. Oop, sorry. Shout out to Truth or Rating. One of my followers on there that said, wow, I had no idea. I didn't know that this was the place that he got his cookies, and he was shot right in front of black and woman, the F. They said, it's a black American owned business, correct? Or did the wife open the business on her own? Let's see. This one says, why refer to this as black and woman owned like her husband isn't an owner? Deceptive and misleading. And it is. And like I said, all these people corrected her. They show screenshots like I'm going to show you in the next one and write-ups, and she still ignored it. She did not correct herself. And she had no intentions of correcting herself either. This is a family-owned business. Stop removing the black man. Makeda's Cookies celebrates 20 years of baking with butter and love. And this is the couple right here. Both still together, both still married, both running the business together. And even if they weren't married, I'm sure hopefully they will still run the business together as business partners, but they are still married. They said, at Tami Sawyer, you are what's wrong with the community. They said, talk black feminists is us as black feminists is trash. They said, you know the drill. They says, take deep breaths. F them. That's just a troll. I'm not going to entertain that. They said, I definitely plan on supporting the business. There being her and her husband. They've been running together for 21 years. And they said she did everything she could to overlook her husband. Let's see. It's a black family owned business. It says, I don't know what this fool talking about some black on black crime. That sounds like a troll. Let's see. They said you didn't lie per se exactly, but what happened? Did you purposely withhold that information? This is bad. It says two people, a wife and a husband, run this business. That word choice of hers was intentional. And this one says this post exposed a lot of people. I love to see it. They said they're talking about insurance and everything like that. Not that I don't care about some of the other stuff that people are talking about, but I want to really talk about and focus on what she was aiming for. Let's see here. This was a great informational post, but please stop removing black men. This business is being ran by a black husband and wife. They will both need our support. Let's do better. They said, I honestly can't stand black Twitter agents. They said, we need to do something about this. This is getting out of hand. It says your bio speaks differently. Keep that same energy, though. It is a family-owned business along with her husband. Exactly. Talk about some equality, but she posts something like that. But let me pause it right quick again, because there was one post in particular where they were really going in under the same post. So let me move it back up and see if I can find it. Okay, so I found the post. I had to scroll down a little bit further to find it. But this post right here was where people was really going in. But this is where some of them little Twitter agents, as we like to call them, kicked in as well. So this person by the name of 1501S Millard said, I prefer you use the term black-owned business as the interjection of gender serves no constructive purpose. Thank you for highlighting their need of support. Then this person says, we prefer you stop talking. I love to support black woman, and wrote it in woman on all caps as if writing it in lowercase would not make us not see it. Own businesses, because we have it so hard out here. So that was needed to be specified. But the thing, you know what? This is like talking to a brick wall. Not when they turn around and preach the black man ain't shit gospel to not just you, but the whole world. You see what this Tami Sawyer chick just did? She literally turned what could have been a nice post into a divide. And used the death of a black man and a tragedy in order to do it. They said it's owned by a black couple, not just a black woman. Let's continue. She said what she said because it matters. Man, I tell y'all. No, it don't. They said, well, what she said was false because that matters. And, here's Tami right here. She said, clearly it matters to you. Feel free to say how you want on their page. Now, here's the part where no one can claim that she didn't know. She says, what gender war? Now she wants to play dumb. She says, it's not just a black woman business. A black man is part and parcel of that joint. So it says, so it's just F her husband. They have been in business together for over 2 decades. And it says, perhaps you should choose your words a lot more wisely. So they've screenshotted what she said right here. And these are cutouts or screenshots of different articles with her and her husband together and saying that they own the business and run it together. Then it says the straight up erasure of her husband wasn't necessary. Now, was it? Weird behavior. It says black women like you truly don't think in the long term. Black women power. Yes. These black men are useless. Plus they are dangerous abusers. Yes. Leave them behind. What do you think will happen if black men became insignificant? You think it'll stop there? They're going to come for y'all and the academy. So let me go back again, because this is the thread right here that I really wanted y'all to see. It says, well, thank you for stating the obvious, as I did make it quite clear it matters to me. So this one said, you can't call a woman-owned business woman-owned now. And I don't know where this fool came from. They said, you know why this matters? Black-owned, we're a collective of people. Stop gender warring. They said black-owned, there's no gender war. When female entrepreneurs only make up 20% of businesses, it's okay to acknowledge both. But they're in business together. She didn't start the business on her own. And this Tami Sawyer chick wrote it as if the wife started this by herself and was running it by herself, when that's not the case. Is that black people, what do you not understand about that? When black people do well, both women and men do good. Take your cape off, sir. We all get it. You're supporting the women. So let me go back here. This is the woman has a husband, which makes it a family-owned business. Stop removing the head of the household. This is what destroying the black community, removing the father or the husband. It says, you think leaving out her husband and business partner is a small distinction? And they put her in a bird's nest, basically calling her a bird, and a lonely one at that. Notice she's not there with anybody. And it says, and she's wrong. It says, why do y'all go out of your way, y'all way to say black women own instead of black owned? Black men don't do that with their business. All y'all are doing is showing y'all narcissism and disrespect for the men in your group, and it's extremely gross, to be honest. This person says, what do you mean? Are you serious? Women owning businesses as noteworthy as black owned, since it was not always an option. Women owned business is a minority in general. It's not an insult to anyone. It's an accomplishment in and of itself. Keep in mind, this isn't even a black woman talking who wrote that. It says it's owned by a couple. That's why it's a black owned family restaurant. They said it is very clearly insult to black men because y'all are not doing for that BS ass excuse you said. Y'all are doing it because majority of y'all think black women are the more important and accomplished than black men. It is disrespectful, full stop. So let me go back. They says, with all due respect, any support from me would come from my interest in baked goods, not vagina. Her gender truly is irrelevant. Typical fat black mammy. This is the truth matters. Family owned business looks like a man and woman to me. What else are they talking about? That's the screenshot of this. That she lied. How she lied because it's her orders. Then you have this person right here says, women don't care what you prefer. Intersectionality is important. My goodness. It says, wow, only men are mad. And I said intersectionality is important. Who would have guessed? She says, if you're not black, your opinion doesn't matter on issues. And she definitely isn't. Like, I looked at this one. She's not black. And if she is, she's a very confused individual who's very passing. It says, this is a cave demon or a bot. Either way, it needs to be shut down. This is intersectionality is something fools concern themselves with and then call them a fool. So I'm not even going to go through the rest of that person's post. Y'all pretty much get it. This one said, you know what's an option called keep scrolling, right? See, now here's where her little minions are kicking up dust. And it says, actually, I personally appreciate the distinction, and I'm sure many other women do too. It says, the old black women group are subgroup-ish again, I see. And then she tried to speak for black women and say that I'm sure other women agree. And I don't even think this is a black woman either. But you see what this Tami Sawyer did? Not only did she create a divide, but now she has invited other groups of women who are not black into the conversation to throw their little 2 cents in that's not even needed or welcomed. Because she even mentioned right here, I'm obviously white. But she had to throw her 2 cents into a conversation that did not involve her. And Tami Sawyer is to blame for that. It is black owned and black woman owned are two different things. It says we are one people. Why do we allow them to separate us? It says using the death of a black man while simultaneously discrediting the black man that co-owns this establishment. Exactly. Isn't that what BLM has been known to do in the past? And still to this day? It says, this is a gender confused post. Move along now. It says, are you a woman? So now, because there they go. It says, there is significance in pointing out the intersectionality of being a black and being a black and woman owned business. We face unique circumstances of oppression, and not highlighting two of the owners' identities will continue erasure. She said what she said. See, they making all kinds of excuses as to why the husband shouldn't even be mentioned. And they know that the husband is running the business with her, but they just found an excuse to not say it, all on the sake of intersectionality. More like intersectional psychos. I have personally seen some of your talking points in intersectionality and gender used by feminist groups on a personal level. I have never seen black American women as a group benefit from policies that have been enacted from that group. Perhaps I'm wrong. They said feminist movements have intentionally erased the voices of black women since conception, so it's not talking points, it's evidence-based and lived experiences. Because you never seen the benefit, it's not valid to point out unique circumstance. That makes no sense. See, this is a dummy. She admits that feminism didn't benefit black women, so they figure let's do intersectionality and maybe they'll hear me. That's why they created intersectionality, because feminism didn't work in their favor, but they're still trying to get the tap on the head from Miss Ann at the same time. Like, look at me. Man. But you know what? I think that might be the end. Let me see if there's any more. Oh, let's see. It says, woman-owned business deserves a certain amount of respect completely on their own, period. Then the black-owned is a separate distinction that should be respected as well. Move on. It says, this black-owned business is shuttered due to the senseless killing of another black man, husband, father, not to mention someone who gave back to their community. The killers failed to realize that there is a domino effect. Prayers to Young Dolph's family and friends. Sex, not gen. Okay. It says, look at all the white feminists hyping it up. That's what I said. Typical, historical, actually. This one says, I prefer you, STFU. And it says, you sound real stupid. So They just got mad because they're pointing out that this, like I said, is a black owned business with a husband and a wife, and this Tami Sawyer came along with her blue check and decided to create a gender divide and then want to act like she didn't see what she saw. Like I said, there's some more in there, but these were some of the highlights that stuck out to me from what I saw. Now, you have some stuff that's in the quoted tweets and whatnot, but I'm not going to go through those. But then you have some people that went through and retweeted this and was talking about, oh, I'm a supporter. And like, it's nothing wrong if you want to support it, but read between the lines first before you see what she posted. Like, she literally erased this man out of the picture as if he does not exist. She's literally doing Dub S's job for them. And proudly. Like, you saw the responses. You can see the responses that she gave. She wasn't going to correct herself. And she knew the real. And kept it moving. And did not correct herself. And then you had her little minions coming right behind her. And literally hype it up even further. These are the type of people that are that Tami Sawyer is a danger to the community. People like her. And I said what I said. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.